Hey, this is my better late than never review of Oblivion Remastered. The original Oblivion is one of those games that is very dear to me, but also was extremely frustrating when it first came out. Before Oblivion, I played Morrowind, which was my first leap into the Elder Scrolls universe. And I loved every single second of it, just the strangeness and scope of it all. Wandering around until I bumped into trouble or stumbled upon some eccentric quest giver. There were no quest markers telling you exactly where to go, so exploration was mandatory. Fast travel was a taxi service between important cities. Or you could use the mark and recall spells to make a quick getaway, or just get into town to drop off a bunch of stuff weighing you down. Plus, Morrowind had a cool story, and the different guild and faction quests went a long way to help flesh out the world and make it believable. It was just a great game for its time, and it still is today. Though it does feel extremely clunky due to the expectations modern games have planted into my brain. I do my best to turn that off. I'm laying this all out to say that Morrowind is the game that made me a gamer. And obviously, all of those years ago when Oblivion was announced, it became my most anticipated game. Sure, there have been others. Skyrim, Mass Effect, Dragon Age Origins, No Man's Sky, The Witcher 2 and 3, Cyberpunk, and Elden Ring, just to name a handful. But Oblivion still holds that spot of most anticipated ever. I couldn't wait until it released. I wasn't actually truly hyped for Oblivion Remastered. I heard the rumors, and I thought if they were true, Bethesda and whoever they had working on the game were surely going to fuck it up. But now that it's here, and with Sky Oblivion right around the corner, this might be one of the best years in gaming for me. So what has changed in Oblivion Remastered compared to the original? The graphics are definitely way better, at least technically anyway. If you're comparing to see which one's more realistic and which one has the better lighting, then yeah, it's impressive. But old Oblivion looked amazing for its time, and I still think it looks awesome today. It juxtaposes a cozy, idyllic, fairy tale aesthetic with the gates of hell opening all around. Combat definitely feels more fluid and impactful in this remaster. But I hate how long it takes to block after casting a spell or swinging a weapon. The movement and combat animations are much better overall, though. Third person mode actually feels usable now. It's still a bit goofy, but nowhere near as bad as it used to be. I remember jumping in the original Oblivion. Your character would go completely stiff in midair and then land without any transition. It looked stupid, and there were plenty of games in 2006 that had good jumping animations. The leveling system has been reworked a bit. Now both major and minor skills contribute to XP gain, which has an impact on leveling and pacing. The menus have been redesigned. They're better to navigate, but still retain some of that old look and feel, which I appreciate. Character faces and models are a lot better now, but they're still damn weird. And somehow making them more realistic made the weirdness even more obvious. I'm fine with it though. The awkward and goofy faces are part of what made the original so memorable. We do have new body types. Instead of male and female, we now have body type 1 and body type 2. There's a mod to undo that oversensitive change if you want one. So what hasn't changed? Most annoyingly, the world still completely scales with you. It feels like a bug. One giant bug on top of all of the other bugs you'll deal with as you play the game. It feels totally unnatural and strange to wander into some dingy cave hideout and run into bandits wearing the most luxurious armor, wielding the deadliest weapons, and utilizing the most advanced fighting skills. These fuckers are sleeping on mold-covered blankets on dirt floors but can afford the finest footwear in all of Cyrodiil. What? Why are they even here? Install a couple of mods to fix the level scaling before you even start, even if it's your first time playing. You'll be happy you did. This terrible leveling system won't be noticeable at first, but it will slowly begin to rear its ugly head the further into the game you get. Until eventually, every time you walk into a cave, you're confronted by some rich asshole hurling insults at you. It sounds funny. It is funny, but it's not meant to be, and the laughs will not last. Alright. Most importantly, on the subject of things that haven't changed, the main story and amazing guild and side quests are still here. And the fantastic Shivering Isle DLC too. The mystery and wonder and the feeling of being in another world, it's all still intact. This is definitely a remaster, and maybe even partly a remake, but it keeps the soul of the original alive. Up until I started playing the remaster, I thought that Skyrim was a better game than Oblivion. I think years of modding Skyrim made me believe this. Skyrim for sure is a good game. Even a really good game. But modding it is what made it great. Not that Oblivion doesn't have some of the same problem. But with Oblivion I only need a couple of mods to make it work for me. I waited to do this review because I wanted to really make sure that it wasn't just nostalgia making me think that Oblivion is the better game. I also needed to make sure it wasn't just the remaster's new coat of shiny paint or the reworked combat and animations. I still like Skyrim's combat better. And in my opinion, my modded Skyrim looks much better than Oblivion Remastered. So it's neither of these things. Playing the remaster makes me realize we lost something with Skyrim. And things have only gotten worse with Bethesda. So let's compare the two games, Oblivion and Skyrim, a little bit here. I don't really like the Nordic setting of Skyrim. I hate that dragons were introduced. The whole dragons coming back to life storyline was just completely boring to me. I thought it was much cooler when it was just myth and legend. I loathe Skyrim's Mage Guild, and I dread joining the companions every playthrough. Mods help greatly with the first, but I don't think there's any fixing the latter. Excise and rebuild, I say. Tear that longhouse down. I did like a bit of the Brotherhood and Thieves Guild quests, but Skyrim's greatness comes in the freedom to just cruise around exploring strange ruins, and getting into fights with cult members and cave dwellers. I think Oblivion has this and more. I prefer playing mages in the Elder Scrolls games, and Oblivion's Mages Guild actually feels important to me. It feels like you're part of something grand, and it opens up cool stuff to the player, including spell creation, something that Skyrim completely lacks. First, we lost the verticality of Morrowind along with the levitation spell, and then spell creation. What are they going to put on the chopping block in Elder Scrolls 6? Cheese? I think overall the writing in Oblivion is just much better than in Skyrim. And now that we have Oblivion Remastered and the two games are graphically on par, if you're using mods especially, and most of us are, it becomes glaringly obvious that Oblivion is and always has been the better game, at least in my opinion. It has intricate quests and storylines, and a unique charm that just isn't there in Skyrim. I do think Skyrim's combat is a step ahead of Oblivion Remastered, and with mods even better still. But thanks to how much I'm enjoying this version of Oblivion, I'm even more excited for the upcoming Skyblivion. All the great technical updates to combat that Skyrim got, but with the epic world building and storytelling of Oblivion. So is Oblivion Remastered worth it? Absolutely, 100% yes, unless the bugs and glitches never get fixed. Then you're taking your chances. That's all I can really say about that. I've had some serious issues that I've mostly worked out, but it's more than a little bit annoying. You'll have to figure out your own level of tolerance. Despite that, I'm having more fun with Oblivion Remastered than I had with most of my favorite games from the past handful of years. Don't get me wrong, there are other games that I love that do specific things much better. Monster Hunter Wilds combat is on another level. The Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk blow it away in pure storytelling, and Elden Ring's world design I think is unmatched. But there's something about Oblivion that feels special, and it's still present in this remaster. It's a precursor to some amazing games, but it's wholly unique, and nothing has truly copied it and succeeded. Not even Bethesda's own Skyrim. We have Tainted Grail on the horizon, which looks promising, but I've been holding out for its official version 1 release. Hopefully this remaster will inspire companies to take a look at what made games from the early 2000s so amazing. And maybe start copying a bit of that instead of infinitely recycling the same shit from the past 10 years. Quit being so damn safe. Stop putting love for money above your love for games. If you don't have any love for games, let the people that do take a bit more control. Quit trying to own the damn gamers. It's clearly only hurting. Once loved companies are flailing and falling. And the only thing saving Bethesda right now is a remaster of one of their 20-year-old games. So should you play Oblivion Remastered? If you don't mind giving Bethesda money, then it's a big old fat yes. Fix the level scaling, enjoy the strangeness, soak in the magic, and remember what AAA games used to feel like before everything became so damn safe. Thanks for listening. See you later.